Hey, so in this video, we're going to discuss the difference between homogeneous versus heterogeneous mixtures a little bit more in depth. If you remember in the previous video, we learned how to classify matter, the difference between elements, compounds, homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures. If you haven't watched that video, you might want to check it out before this one. But we're going to focus on mixtures. So we said a mixture can contain compounds, it can contain elements, it can contain both. But what's the difference between homogeneous and heterogeneous? And the easiest way to put this is that a homogeneous mixture is evenly mixed, meaning whatever compounds, whatever elements are in that mixture, every portion of that mixture, whether it's a liquid or a solid mixture or a gas mixture, every portion of it is going to be the same, okay? Again, I like to give the example of vanilla ice cream, lots of ingredients in vanilla ice cream. They're all mixed evenly, every bite's the same. Heterogeneous mixtures are different. They're not evenly mixed. That's the easiest way to memorize it or to know it. Okay, so I've got some pictures and some words down below, and I want us to think about these mixtures. So first off, on the left, I have a good old bowl of Chex Mix. And I want to think about, obviously, this is a mixture. It contains several different ingredients. You've got the peanuts and the pretzels. You've got my favorite, the Chex Squares. And if we took a handful of this Chex Mix, do you think it would be the same? Our first handful would be the same as our second handful. Do you think every handful of Chex Mix would be exactly the same contents, the same number of those contents in every handful? And the answer is no, okay? One handful might contain a lot of peanuts, and the next handful might contain a lot of pretzels. So this is definitely not evenly mixed, which makes it a heterogeneous mixture. Okay, the next picture that I have, if we go over, is a bottle of children's Benadryl. And I wish you could see the ingredient list here. But let's think about Benadryl. It's a liquid in this container, and the liquid at the top looks the same as the liquid at the bottom. It's the same color. Let's think about what components might be in this Benadryl, what ingredients. Obviously, you have a coloring agent because it's pink, and that's a particular type of molecular compound. You have the active ingredient in Benadryl. It's actually listed right there on the front, diphenhydramine. You have HCl as well. You probably also have some flavoring agents because it says it's cherry flavored. So there's lots of different ingredients here. The question is, are they evenly mixed? Are they not? And they should be. You would hope they would be, because every ounce, every milliliter of Benadryl you pour out of this bottle should be the exact same, right? So the answer is yes, they're evenly mixed, and that makes this a homogeneous mixture. Oops. Homogeneous. Okay. Let's go over to, now I have some words. I want you to think about these since we don't have pictures. The atmosphere. What is this? What kind of mixture is this? Let's think about what might be in the atmosphere. I'm sure that I'm not going to list everything. So I'm just going to list a few things that are in the atmosphere. You might can think of some more, but I for sure know that oxygen, O2, is in the atmosphere. We breathe oxygen. I know the largest component of our atmosphere is nitrogen, which is N2. Okay, we've got some nitrogen in there. I know that there's carbon dioxide, CO2. There's some amount of nitrogen dioxide, NO2. There's ozone, which is O3. I'm running out of space in our atmosphere, okay? And then there's even more things, okay? There's pollutants because we have vehicles and factories that the exhaust from those things probably put several other things in our atmosphere. So we could write an exhaustive list for sure, but I think we're good here. So our atmosphere contains all of these things in it in gas form usually. And the question is, really it all comes back to, are they evenly mixed or not evenly mixed? And probably the higher up you travel in the atmosphere, the different layers might change the contents of those layers. We know there's different layers in the atmosphere. So the more you think about this, it makes sense that our atmosphere is not evenly mixed. It's not a perfectly homogeneous mixture, which makes this a heterogeneous mixture, okay? Now, I also, while we're at it, I want to look at each of these individual components. Could you, if you were asked, could you tell me what kind of matter individually these things are? So like, let's just focus on O2. what kind of matter is O2. This might actually draw us from some information in a previous video if we watched it. Remember, some of these contain one type of element, and then some of the, even though they all contain numbers here, you see like a 2 or a 3, some of them just contain one letter. So oxygen here is just oxygen, even though there's 2 atoms of oxygen bound together. So this would just be a pure element. All right. Now, it's appropriate to say that that's a molecule of oxygen, but that doesn't make it a compound. But if you come over here to like CO2 or NO2, you have 2 different elements bound together. Okay. So that would make this a compound. So a little review here on different types of matter. All right, let's go over to toothpaste. Okay. There's actually a disclaimer here. It depends if your toothpaste is one color or multiple colors, but let's pretend that our toothpaste is one color. I was thinking about this. Toothpaste, every bit of toothpaste you squeeze out of your tube should be the same, right? You would be shocked if it wasn't. So what is in toothpaste? Obviously, there's multiple things in toothpaste. You've got some things that are good for your teeth. You got some fluoride. You've got some sort of flavoring agent, maybe a minty flavoring agent, or toothpaste might be green sometimes or blue. So there's a coloring agent as well. So there's lots of different ingredients in toothpaste. If you go to look at the ingredient list, you'll see several things there. So there's multiple things, makes it a mixture for sure, but is it homogeneous or heterogeneous? It's definitely got to be homogeneous, right? If it's one color, this is a homogeneous mixture. If the colors are like striped, that's probably a heterogeneous mixture because the coloring agents are going to be their own compound. So I hope that's helpful. If you like this, be sure to check out other videos. Thanks for joining.